Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome, brave lunch having adventurers like L. Copeland in the chat. Welcome, Chris Thomas, always active in the Ninja One community. Welcome all, one and all, to another Backups and Bandwidth on this, the Hallowed World Backup Day. I'm Jonathan Crow. I'm Director of Community at Ninja One, and I have with me the PM, who is an amazing DM, Dan Myers.
Hey, Jonathan. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely. And for those of you who weren't here last year, you don't need to have gone back and watched the previous thing, although there is going to be some continuity here, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But let's set the scene for folks. We're going to be going through a interactive adventure. We've got some great players that we're going to introduce to you in just a few moments. And we're going to be diving deep into a realm of fantasy and backup.
That's right. Yes. Although you should go watch the last time we did our Backups and Bandwidth, because it was a lot of fun. But last time on Backups and Bandwidth, our intrepid adventurers met Steve, the office manager orc, where they were hired as temp IT workers of a place they knew nothing about and who had no process or procedure. They failed to restore a critical machine, but after the break and being given the tome of backup best practices, our heroes were able to prepare and plan, so their next disaster they were able to triumph and save the day. Even Grumpy Steve the orc was happy. And we're going to be introducing our characters here, and in fact picking right back where we left off at that wonderful party and adventure that the town was throwing them for saving the day.
That's right. And before we do, let's also toss in, speaking of a town celebration and everything, man, we're just gonna go all in, right? Why even hesitate now? I'm talking about IT, we're talking backups, we're talking D&D, we're talking Legos, we're just dorking out here. We're going to give away, this is a brand new set from Lego. It's the Shire. I'm super psyched to see it. We're going to give away actually 3 of these because we have 3 players. Each player can pick a champion from the chat. So if you're here, if you're watching, this is your encouragement to be interactive in the chat. Help our players out. At the end, our players are going to pick 3 folks, either at random or because of good comments, good help that you've assisted them with. And that's how we will pick our winners for this prize. Okay, but with that, Dan, I'm going to fade away and let you introduce our party. And we'll start with Adam Walter.
Thank you very much. Yes, let's bring Adam in.
How's it going? I am Adam the Graybeard. The reason I came up with this avatar was I'm an old NT4 guy, late 90s, early 2000s. I've moved into management, and I have a set of arcane skills that no one really cares about anymore. But at least I empathize with all of you people on your outages.
There we go. Excellent. Welcome back to the table. Who do we have next, Jonathan? Yes. Welcome, Ian.
Hello. I background sysadmin. Prior to being a Ninja employee, I'm now a technical marketing engineer, and Kind of same as Adam. While the skills aren't necessarily as much something that I do all the time anymore, I completely relate to all of the outages and other problems that we face on a daily.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for being back here with us, Ian. Lastly, but certainly not leastly, Dean.
What's up, everybody? Good to be here. I am Dean, the Process Lobster, because I am always scuttling around your ITSM talking about processes. Can't wait to ruin today's adventure.
You can certainly try. All right. Well, so thank you, everyone. And with that, we're going to get into our game of backups and bandwidth today. So now we pick up right where we left off. As I was saying, the town is cheering you on, thanking you for saving the day. And Steve, the office manager, is toasting you with a fantastic ale. Thanks, guys. You really saved the day here. But as he is speaking, the audio sort of buzzes out of your ears, and suddenly a bright white flash envelops you, and you find yourself in a completely different setting, where you were once outside in a bustling fantasy town of whimsy, beer, and celebration. It's now replaced with you standing on a metal circle with bright lights at your feet that begin to dim. As you look around, you find yourself in a metallic, large, and circular room. The room has 2 tiers separated only by a handful of stairs on either side, and there are 3 large chairs in the front and center of the room. Not a solid, sharp corner to be seen. All of the furniture and walls are curved in some manner and made out of metal, steel, and everything's covered in a translucent computer-like screens. There are many people at different stations in strange matching uniforms. As your eyes adjust, you see a familiar face in Steve, but he looks a little different. Where once he was wearing a shirt and tie and had a warhammer slung over his back, he too is wearing a uniform of armor, but it has much more flair and regalia to it than the others. Your eyes begin to adjust as he says, "Are you all right, team? Steady, steady now. The effects will wear off shortly." His voice sounds a little different than you remember. Players, what are you doing?
Is Commander Shepard around?
Who is that?
Where are we? What's going on here?
Ah, of course. Yes. This is to be expected. Well, I'm Captain Steve the 83rd, and welcome aboard the Samurai. And we actually need your help. You see, we invented time travel specifically to bring you aboard this spaceship of the Samurai. We need your help. The legends tell of backup administrators so mighty that we knew the only chance of our success was to bring you here, and the only way that Dan could think of tying these 2 stories together. Also, our fleet admiral is coming for an audit, and our backups are not ready.
You're not happening to look for a COBOL programmer, are you?
I believe that might have been lost in your time frame. That didn't quite make it. Okay, good.
Thank goodness.
Now listen.
What do you need us for?
We're not quite sure what's wrong. Maybe you could take a look. And he walks you to over one of the terminals here. We're hoping you can figure it out. Now, Steve shows you a screen. And you can take a look at that screen and try and tell me what you see here. But also you notice that there's like this ooze bubbling out of the terminal, black and gooey and just smoking and hissing. Now,
nothing like terminal ooze.
Now, you take a look at the terminals, and actually the terminals look very similar to what Ian's terminals look like behind him. Flashing archaic code. In fact, but this code is red, and it is just scrolling fastly across the screen. Can any of you guys read this?
I can't.
I make an attempt. What do I see?
Well, you just see red swirling lines of code. And it's at that point that Captain Steve says, of course, you're not going to be familiar with this. I tell you what. Just come with me this way, and let's get you inside the program to figure it out.
Inside
And
the program.
each of you a pair of items that look like goggles and a bit of a wand that looks like you would use it to cast spells. These are your visual interpreter glasses and your programming wand. You'll be able to visually see the code in a way you can understand, and the wand uses the latest of our AI to change the code based on your description of what it should do. He shuffles you into an adjoining room where another circular pad with lights glowing at the base of it are waiting for you. Any questions before we send you in?
Yeah, do you
Is it
still serve
dangerous?
coffee?
Coffee will be inside. Good! And he just hits the button. And once again, flashing white light. And now you find yourself in a new place. You arrive in this strange and unfamiliar place, no longer in the metallic spaceship that you once were. The pads of light dim at your feet, and all around you is that same red, flashing, swirling, scrolling code in every direction you see. Some is larger, some are smaller, some are scrolling at different speeds. What are you going to do?
I put my goggles on.
Yes. And as you put your goggles on, the scene comes into place. Your visual interpreter goggles. You now see a magnificent, large, and intricate cavern. It is fairly quiet right now. You see some machines of industry and pipes connecting in many ways and areas all along the walls. You see in the central what looks like a large forge and a central workspace. Now, as you take in this scene, a large gong sounds and the machines begin to sputter to life. But they don't all seem to be working well, and you can see some intermittent grinding and slipping of gears and puffs of smoke that dot the walls. At the very top of the cavern, you see a light source coming closer to the edge, and some magma, some lava begins to flow down, but it's very intermittent, and it really seems like it's just not working well. A central walkway leads to a pedestal in front of this forge. What are you going to do, team?
Let's go take a look at that pedestal.
I shout out to Steve, like, what exactly is the problem we're looking for here?
And there's no response.
Pretty sure that's the internet. I wonder if there's like an Al Gore here we can ask about the series of tubes.
Series of tubes. As you come to the pedestal, you see it labeled components of backup. Now, each direction from the center, there's a room, and they will have different components of backup, team. Your job will be to identify what backup component you're looking at and seeing if it's performing efficiently or not, and see what you might be able to do to fix these components. So, there are 5 directions, team. Which doorway would you like to go to first?
4.
There it is. We head towards the 4th door.
Oh man, we're out of order now.
You're welcome.
Someone else is going to keep track of these, not me, all right?
Can I fiddle with those buttons while Adam does something practical?
You sure can. Go ahead and fiddle away.
Why am I the practical one?
Well, it wasn't going to be me.
The buttons are not going to move and light up, though. They seem to be controlled from elsewhere. So, you guys are heading towards the 4th room?
Yep.
All right. Outside of this room, you see a water wheel, and it's completely overflowing with water in the buckets. But the buckets are spilling and moving very slowly, and quite frankly, they're just dropping most of the water. As you enter the room, you find a large storage room, many crates, but also unboxed fantasy items like books, shields, weapons, armor pieces, and a mine cart track right in front of the road that drops off new pieces. Now you see an old gnome moving around slowly with a magnifying glass. And as you enter, he's currently looking at what seems like a very old, large, dusty sword. He looks at it for a moment. "No change!" he shouts. And then he moves to an even older and even dustier looking shield. He spends 2 minutes looking at it again and says, "No change!" And he continues to move on. What are you guys going to do?
That seems inefficient.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome. Come in.
What are you
He
doing?
goes over to another old dusty crate. "No change. What can I do for you?"
What are you doing?
"Ah, welcome. I am scanning for new changes in the backup." "No change." And as you see this, you also notice it like off to the right-hand side. There are just carts and carts coming in and dumping shiny new items into place as he continues to go about his day.
I'm gonna take a sword and a shield.
"Hey, put that back. We're using that for our backups." "Oh, fine. Just take it."
What are you using it for
All right.
the backups?
Thanks.
"Well, we're backing them up." Oh, he's got his sword already.
Is to our friend here, is he
Yes.
you all by yourself?
"Yes, it's just me."
What's your name?
Yeah.
"Florian."
Florian.
"Yes."
Hmm.
How often
So,
are the
"If you
changes?
excuse me, I have to keep scanning." And he walks over to another dusty crate. "No change." "Oh, this is new." And he scans. He looks at this bright gleaming crystal crown. "Woo, great!" And he continues back on his work.
I inspect the gleaming crown.
Sure. It's a wonderful looking crystal crown, 6 points all around it, dotted with certain rubies and sapphires here.
I put it on Ian's head.
He looks lovely, absolutely lovely.
Can we ask Florian where all this is, like, where's all this stuff coming from?
I don't ask the questions. They provide me the items, and I scan them.
I'm gonna go out and inspect the water wheel that's barely turning.
Yeah, you go outside and you just get the sense that this is just not working well. It's creaking, it's groaning, the gears are slipping here. So it is your job, team, to understand what component of a backup, what is happening in this room that might be related to a backup.
Like a grindy platter drive that's been read and written to so many times it can barely be accessed, and it's only got like a single controller to access it.
Florian hears you kind of talking about this. So you understand, you're in the backup program, and this is the different areas of what we do. Now tell me, do you know what I am doing?
Differential backups.
All right. Okay. So keep going on that thread here. What do you think is happening here, Adam?
It's comparing with something and seeing if there is anything new in the room. And if there is something new, he's logging it.
All right. And as you're saying this, again, more and more items just continue to pour into the room. However, he continues to only focus on some of the dustier items, and he's not quite making it over to the new items. What are you guys going to do here?
Are there any more items coming in that we could adorn Ian with while we're figuring this out?
Well, this is just expected that that's what you're doing at this point.
Okay.
So I just expect that that's what's been happening.
I'm gonna ask Florian why he's not looking at the new items that are coming in on the minecart.
Well, I don't know. No one ever told me to do that.
Well, all
Is
of those
that a-
items
is
are
that a good
clearly
idea?
unchanged. Yeah. Well, all that's clearly unchanged. It's dusty.
How
and
do you
nothing's-
know?
It's because it's dusty and it's been there for probably since the dawn of time.
He doesn't have a
That is
policy.
true.
Do you not have a policy you're following to look at new devices that are coming in and backing them up as well?
Well, I have my policy here, and it just says scan.
Scan what?
I scan the items.
But not the new ones.
It just tells me to scan. He holds up his placard.
I update the document to say scan all.
Oh God.
Well, that's what I've been doing. I've been scanning all the items.
All the new items.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh. Well, that's it. And then you just see him start gravitating. He almost mindlessly walks, not quite understanding what his feet are doing first. And he begins to scan the items that have just been brought into the room. And it doesn't take him long, maybe 15, 20 minutes. But now he is constantly scanning any new item that comes in the room. And when he has time, he looks around to make sure nothing has changed in his path behind him. So
You mentioned a few times that stuff keeps coming in the room. How big is the room? Is there room for all the stuff? Is that not a problem?
well, so and he shows you that after they are scanned, the newer items will go into another mine cart and be dropped into another room. The room is quite spacious. We can grow as much as we need. And with that, team, you have solved and fixed our first backup component. The scanning engine of a backup program was so horribly written to just say scan, and you gave him, with your lovely programming wand, the ability to scan the brand new items first to take less time in scanning your backups, which is also what Ninja One does for their image backups. And now, as you step outside of this room, you see the water wheel turning wonderfully fast. The buckets are bigger. The water is pouring through, and it is efficiently being driven down into the next area. All right, look at that. And some lovely lights to prove you have just solved the first room have taken place here. Now, team, are you ready to head to your next room?
I want room number 1.
Room number 1, huh? You guys agree room number 1 sounds like it's an all right one? All right.
Ian, don't forget that bag of loot I loaded up from room number 4.
No
Ian
problem.
is-
Don't make me
Ian
wear
is the bag
everything.
of loot.
So as you walk across the path to rule number 1 here, things look nice on the outside of this door. Things seem clean, polished. 2 torches line either side of the doorway. And as you walk in, this room is in a much healthier state. The floors and walls are clean. The area is well lit. A central shaft is dropping items onto multiple conveyor belts, where a team of 6 golems are patiently awaiting each item. Now, it's hard to see what is on the belts, but the golems seem to be moving very efficiently, and the belt never stops. What are you guys going to do as you're entering this new room?
I'm gonna inspect what's on the belts.
Yeah. So actually, some of the items are very familiar to you. You see them on Ian, but also the ones that have come directly from the room that you just left are coming onto the conveyor belts here. And as each of the items reach a stone golem, you can see them picking it up, but expertly condensing it, making it smaller, and then putting it on the belt again.
Ooh, compression.
Compression.
Hey, all right.
Deduplication would be better, but we'll deal with it.
Yeah, what are you gonna do, right? Yes, that one was too easy. You have found the compression engine, and it does look to be moving quite nicely. They're all very efficient, and they are. You do see, it's a great point. Many items are the same, but they are compressing quite nicely. So it looks like not all is lost here in this backup program. They do have a couple of good things going for it. So now, 2 of the 5 rooms have been accomplished. Are you guys ready to head to the next one?
Yeah.
And what
We should do
number
5
room
next.
are we going to? 5? You want to go to 5 now?
God, it's out of order.
All right. Okay.
Get twitchy here, guys.
So you approach another door. It is cluttered on the outside with a lot of items, a little worse for wear. You enter into another decently lit large warehouse. It's a bit disorganized from what you can tell. There's a large conveyor belt that splits the room, and you see a very muscular man on the move, jumping from box to box to box. He takes items out, he places them on the conveyor belt. He's working very hard, but he's working in a little bit of an erratic fashion here. And you hear him calling out, potion, helm, staff. He runs to another box. Potion, 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 staff, potion, helm. He runs to another box. Helm, ooh, a book, a book. He puts everything on the conveyor belt. One at a time, and he goes from box to box to box. Oh, hey guys, how's it going? Make yourself comfortable. I'm just handling in the shipment that came in yesterday. Super busy.
No one touch any of the coins. I've seen enough movies to know if anyone touches a coin, we're screwed.
So there's only
How we
one
get
person
cursed, right?
There's only one person working in there, huh?
That's right. There's one person.
Where's all your helpers there, bud?
Well, it's just me. And you see him potion, 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 potion. Helm. And then he moves to the next one. And he grabs more potions. You see a lot of items that look very similar to one another.
Is he working off some sort of like a list or an array that is helping him keep track of this?
Why don't you ask him?
How do you keep track of what you're grabbing there? There seems to be a process.
I just grab whatever I want, and move to the next.
Same.
He's putting on the conveyor belt, right?
Yes.
Why doesn't he grab the box instead?
You want to make him grab the boxes instead?
I want to know why he's not grabbing the boxes instead.
No reason, just grabbing each little item as it comes out, and you see him again go potion, 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 helm, helm, helm. And he moves to the next one. Sword, sword. Puts it all on.
Are the boxes assorted or are they all the same thing?
You're looking at the items inside them?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of items here. There's a ton, but you are absolutely seeing many things that look very similar from box to box to box, some in the same crate, some in different crates. And so many of these items look very similar. In fact, if you look very closely, many of them are identical.
Now we're back to needing deduplication.
Deduplication? What's that?
Well, you match things together that are the same and just say sword, and then you put it over, and then you have all your swords. And you say, I have 30 swords. He's move it over. I have 30 helms. Move it over. Only need one of them.
29 helms. 29 helms.
Well, that sounds neat. How would that work?
Do you have a way of combining all these together? I whip out my wand and make them all one.
Make all 28 helms one.
So as Dean continues to take helms and stuff them into his loot bag. Okay, so you're wanting to write a deduplicating code sequence here. Is that right, Adam?
Correct.
Okay. So I want each of you to give me a narrative example of how that might work. As creative as you would like, of how you can write a deduplicating engine in this fantasy dungeon you find yourselves in.
I'm going to do a quick scan of an area, count the number of items that are exactly the same, point at them all, and then squish them together in one, just like the golems were doing.
Nice. All right. But what do you think, Ian? How else are you going to assist this? Or maybe you're going to do it a different way in a slightly in another corner of this room.
Yeah, I think, I mean, squishing them together into one, just, I don't know that I want to create a sword singularity. As much
one
fun
sword
as that
to rule
sounds.
them all.
So I'm going to handle it similarly, but just finding a way to package them together. We have crates. We may as well use them.
Okay. All right. Cool. And Dean, how about you? Anything to add on some of these?
Well, in some of the other rooms, I got the sense that there's some level of machinability. Could we maybe make like a labeled wheel, like a variable that could be set and, set to the right thing to indicate that sorted group?
Absolutely. And so as you are all working together, Ian has his programming wand, and each of these components you are able to create. And what you find yourself left with is a well-running conveyor belt with no duplicate items being loaded onto them. There are the gears and wheels that are setting them aside. We saw one of our audience members suggested creating an index. We've also implemented that index here so that you know exactly where each piece is and where it will correspond to later if you need to restore. Well done, everyone. You have solved the room of deduplication, another feature of Ninja One Image Backup. And now, without plugging too much. Oh, here we go. Gauges are lighting up here.
Ooh, can I fiddle with buttons?
You may
No,
not.
stop.
Nope, absolutely not. That is danger, and if I ever heard of it.
I would like to use my programming wand to put a force field around that thing so Dean can't touch it.
Done. It is done. Well done. Oh my, that's great. Dean certainly won't be able to get past that. Right, Dean?
Surprised you can move your hands with all the rings we put on them.
Yeah.
All right. So as you walk out of this room, you do notice that the central forge is moving at a much better pace. In fact, there are a few extra lights dotting the wall. The machine does seem to be running a bit better than it ever has been before. And what room are we going to now?
Room 2?
Yay!
Don't believe we've said room 2.
So
Let's do it. All right, good. Excellent. Another very immaculate room. As you walk in and open the door, there is a small corridor here. And what you can see behind it is a large vault. And inside this vault here, you see items dropping into it. But as the items drop into it, they become obscured, coded in a way that your glasses still can't even understand. What are you going to do here in this room?
Rags, huh? I'm going to try to order them in some way.
So you walk closer to the vault.
Yes, to inspect.
I
Okay.
step away from Adam just in case.
Mhm. Yeah, it might have
As
defense.
as you walk forward, a purple force field zaps you and sends you back. It seems that the items in here are quite locked and not able to be changed.
Adam, you want a helmet? I have an extra one.
I have my shield.
Your dusty shield, right?
Hmm.
So I grab a hold of Ian very gently on the shoulder and I touch the sword back to the purple to test it.
Yeah, that thing gets zapped too and falls out of your hand.
Well, given
Again,
that
new
completing the
items
circuit,
are
did it go
poured-
all the way to Ian or did it just get me?
Oh, you were touching Ian as well?
Yes.
Oh, you
One of these
absolutely
wings has got to
zapped.
be a ring of protection.
You know what? That's a good point.
A ring of
You
grounding.
do zap him, but one of the rings just lights up. It's that ring disintegrates now, so it is completely burnt out.
I think Chris has a good idea. We look around. Is there any sort of access key or a mechanic to open the area?
Or like a USB
No.
port or something.
No, there is
Perhaps
not.
that's the point.
And as you look, new items drop into the vault. You can see what they are at the top, but as they slide into this vault, again becoming obscured to your vision.
So it's encrypted.
Mhm.
So this is a privacy vault. There's really not much for us to do here.
Will my glasses do anything for me?
No, you already have your glasses on. That's the thing.
Wait, you guys
So-
are wearing yours?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'd say there's not much to do here. This is a private
You put your
vault.
glasses on, and you can finally see for the first time.
Wow, what a
that you're
medieval
not just.
setting.
Yes.
It all makes so much sense now.
So tell me about this room, team. What is this room, and is it working well or not?
It's working very well. It's
I think it is
privatizing
working
all
very
new data
well.
coming in.
And you can't get into it, can you?
Mm-mm.
Not that we've
And-
been able to see so far.
All right. Chris Thomas says it. Immutable storage. And someone else said in the chat that showed up on our screen, encrypted.
Encryption.
I just want
storage.
to ensure that this particular data does not make it to the deduplication or the compressing areas.
And it looks like this has already had that happen so
Okay.
far. So it looks like you might have discovered the end of line here.
In
And
room
so,
number
yes,
2.
We in room number 2. Don't worry about it. Security by obscurity there, Ian. They don't just make the numbered doors do exactly what they want. So another room down that is actually working well despite all of the flaws that you have seen. Wow, at least the data is secure.
That's
So-
good.
Does backups with Ninja One have immutable storage?
Absolutely, Dean. Thanks for asking. They sure do. Now, let's see if we can conquer the last room.
Boss fight, guys. Get ready.
Actually, let's see here. Yes, the last room. You walk into a smaller room than the rest. You see a man sitting at a desk. There is a small chute that seems to be dropping items on his desk. He writes something in a book and tosses each item over his shoulder behind him. Beside him is an empty minecart, and it seems to lead on a track behind him to a central shaft that will drop items further below. Now, to either side of this shaft in the floor, you see lava glowing and bubbling in sort of a moat-like application. The sword he was holding, written something down in his notebook. He tosses it over his shoulder, and it goes directly into the lava. Sometimes the items he writes go into the central chute, and sometimes they go into the lava.
and some of them go into my bag.
What you know? What you're setting me up for episode 3 next year
We
of
have like
Backups and
we have
Bandwidths
like
when
a
the
data leak
restore
here.
when the restore doesn't work and items are missing. Okay, team, what are you doing in this room?
I found this.
Stan.
Amazing.
I talked to the guy. I said, "What you doing there?"
Well, I'm writing things to the backup. Throws a potion over straight into the lava.
Why are you destroying some things?
What do you mean?
Well, when you throw it behind you, it's getting destroyed.
No. It goes in the central shaft down to the storage.
I
See?
point out
He throws
to
another.
him it is a ball of flame by scooping a little on to my shield and dropping it on his arm.
It's quite aggressive.
That is quite aggressive.
He doesn't like that at all. Stop that. That's hot. And that's just lava. He throws another item behind his back. And it goes straight into the chute.
I think we got a good one in the audience here.
Ooh.
I need
What
you
do you
to
guys
look
think
and
of-
see
what do you
if
guys
it's being
think?
backed up. Next time you throw something over your shoulders, I'd like you to look back there and make sure it's getting backed up.
All right. He throws, turns around, swish, right into the central shaft. See? It's fine.
I'll do that
He
every
throws
time.
another, and it goes straight into the lava.
Okay, check that last one. Where is it?
It's in the storage. It must be in the storage.
Okay, can you go get it?
Well, I'm not allowed into the vault.
So we need to add some kind of validation process here that things are actually being backed up. So I adjust his policy to say verify it goes into the chute. Watch it go into the chute.
All right. All right. And as you do that, he now begins to take each item, turn around, and throw each one into the chute, making sure that each one gets to where it goes. You watch him for 5 minutes. Nothing else in the lava.
Can I edit the policy to remove the lava?
Oh, we need the lava.
Do we?
Secure.
And with
secure-
that,
s-
you
secure
have
destruction-
removed
secure
the
destruction of
lava.
data, Ian.
Ian, great job. You have removed the lava. Now, Dean, is there anything else you think you can do here to make this even more efficient?
Could we add some additional employees?
Hey, all right. How many employees do you want to add?
I mean, how many can we fit? I mean, that gets into the nuances of medieval backup HR, because of course we have our burden rate we have to calculate, benefits, housing, food, waste.
Right.
Someone just removed the lava, so now all of that's a problem. I don't know, at least 5 more.
5 more, absolutely. And as you wave your programming wand, the room gets a little bit bigger, and now there are 4 more desks, each with their own minecart that leads to the chute. And each of them turns around and throws them towards the chute.
Can we have them load the minecarts? I somehow think that I've just noticed that they are throwing the items directly into the chute instead of using the minecarts.
Yeah, all right. And with that, you now see a very well-oiled machine here of items being placed into the carts being moved, and the items dumping directly into the chute. And if you look down into that chute, you can see the vault where you just were previously.
Could an Ian fit in the chute if someone
I'm
were to
stepping away
him?
from the chute.
That's better left undetermined. However, I can tell you that would not go well.
How
I would
not
become
well?
part of the backup.
Yeah, we're going to back up Ian. Maybe Ian will be lost in the next one and we'll have to restore him. With that team, you have solved this room here, and whoa, things are starting to run very well. As you walk outside, you head out, and that machine is really picking up steam, and you now see torches lighting everything up. The lava is pouring down at a great clip, and all of the steam and whistles and bells are lighting up and going off without a hitch. And suddenly you hear in your ear, "Great job, team. We're pulling you out." And you return back to the Starship Samurai, where Steve, the 83rd, is now hosting you and celebrating once more with drinks as you have saved the day. And as he says thank you, his wrist beeps. "Oh no, the time machine is running out of time. We have to send you back now." And suddenly you appear back in the town where you first started. You continue to drink more of those same beers that you were first drinking, and all of the celebration is going on, and Steve has just toasted you, the office manager orc, with the ale. And with that, our heroes have successfully repaired a backup program from the inside using their programming wands and their interpreter goggles. So don't go anywhere, people, because we're about to give away those Legos now. So, Jonathan, how did we do? How was our audience there?
Oh man, our audience was great. Our players are great, guys. You well done to you. For I wonder if the time travel element, did the items that Dean managed to smuggle, does he still have them?
Yes. I do.
I guess he does. Wow, impressive. So we need new artwork, Jonathan. Dean,
Yep.
with all his items, and Ian adorned in every item possible. Adam, what did you take? What did you? Maybe you getting zapped by the wall.
He took friendship, guys.
He
This
took
was the greatest treasure of all.
The greatest treasure of all.
I almost got backed up, so like
I also kept the goggles because no one took them away from me, and I'm going to reverse engineer those things.
Ooh, all right.
we have villain potential now. We have super powerful
Yep.
goggles.
I love it. Well, guys, let's get to these prizes. So we had some very helpful members of the audience. Thank you so much for taking time and joining us, everybody. I mentioned
We gotta choose our champions, right?
I mentioned that. Now I will direct your attention, players, to the chat, and I did. Feel free. I made some suggestions here. Feel free to go another direction, but I did keep note of attendees who saw solutions quickly and were the first ones to address them in the chat. So if you look at your chat and go to the pinned ones, you'll see some names there. But no, please do pick your own champions. Dean, let's start with you.
By the way,
There
I
are
have to
pin
pick-
things in the
I
chat.
gotta pick a victim out of chat.
I was just gonna call it Neil and Mike.
I was gonna go with Chris Thomas.
Yeah. I was gonna go with Chris.
Wow. Okay. Well, you picked the ones that sorry, you couldn't see the pin ones. Yes. So Neil, because you were the fastest on deduplication, you are a fantastic champion. Well done, players, for picking him. Mike, super active the whole time. Also found out offered a solution for the which one was this one for?
deduplication, but I think he had another one as well.
He did have another one. Locket was the first one to find encryption, and then Chris Thomas, yes, immutable storage. So I know I said 3, we're gonna do 4. We have 4 prize winners. You guys are all gonna get that Lego set. I'm jealous of you, so I'll reach out afterwards and make sure that you get that. And with that, folks, we got a few more minutes, but I mean, this was our adventure. This was our backup adventure. Dan, thank you so much for taking time to build it again and to guide it expertly as always. Everybody, I hope you had fun with this one. Happy World Backup Day. And if you haven't heard, we are doing these things more frequently. We're going to be coming back with more backups and bandwidth, and having different groups of players, different challenges. So keep an eye out. I think our next one we're planning for the end of April. Yeah.
And Jonathan, I want to chime in here and say, all jokes aside, Ninja has a backup product, but I don't care what backup product you're using. Please go out and make sure that your backups are set up, that you're checking them, that you're making sure they're running well. Not just that you didn't get a failed alert, but that they're running in the first place. Backup is a team sport. It's my responsibility as a vendor to give you a great backup product, but it's your responsibility to go make sure that they are working.
If you are not testing your backups and doing a sample restore, you do not have backups.
That's right. Now, listen, anyone that has Ninja One today, if you are not a Ninja backup customer today, if you ever find yourself in a disaster, we've all had it happen where the current backup vendor that you have has a problem on a machine that lasts a week, and you're pulling your hair out trying to figure out what to do. Go turn my product on and back it up. Okay, go cloud only, go local, whatever you need. It'll take less than 3 minutes to get a backup kicked off. Go use it. We'll talk about money later, or we probably won't even care. All right, but I care about you being protected and having a backup that you needed. If you like what you see, we can talk afterwards. Please go check your backups, and please go use it if you're in an emergency, okay?
That's a really cool offer. I don't use Ninja. I'm not endorsing Ninja. I use better products, but that's a really cool offer.
I just memorize all my data.
That's it. Yep, absolutely.
Can you test that restore? Can we test a restore of that right now, Adam? Like
what?
Live? Yeah.
He already forgot it. He already forgot the data.
About?
Yep, he already lost his memory.
Thank you, everybody. We will follow up after this stream is over, which will be imminently. You'll be able to see this recording live on YouTube. I'm going to update the description with links to a couple of things. We cited some resources. Dan, you cited the tome of backup best practices from last year, and we'll add a link so people can download that as well. Thank you, everybody, for another stellar adventure. And I guess until next time, stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Take care.
Happy World Backup Day, everybody.